Chicago Bulls Media Day is right around the corner, so we're going to go ahead and continue on with the training camp talk. So on today's topic, we're going to go ahead and touch on it. What are some of the biggest questions for the Chicago Bulls heading into this season? Y'all know we're going to talk about it, but you know you got to hear the music first.
Cognac, gang.
Shy Boys Podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm with my dog, CDubb. How you doing, boy?
Man, I'm feeling great. What's the word, man?
Man, if y'all like what y'all listening to today, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. So every time we drop, you be one of the first ones to know. Now, we already know how last season went, but we on to a new season, hoping for bigger and better things. Not too many things done with the roster in the offseason, just a few additions here and there. But yeah, we got to talk about those questions that's right there on our mind before we go into this season. CDubb, what's some of those questions?
Some of those questions, and I think there are a lot of questions, and it varies in importance for the Chicago Bulls team. First off, who's going to be your starting point guard? Is it going to be Javon Carter? Is it going to be Kobe White? Second is, how's your power forward rotation going to be? I know some people might say it's a competition who's going to start at the power forward position. Me, I don't think so as much. I think it's Patrick Williams. But will he be given that a real opportunity out there to show that he's ready to play in the NBA? Or will Billy go into his, he loves his vets. He loves those players that already into their body or already got their game pronounced. So will he go to Torrey Craig more? Will Torrey Craig play more minutes than Patrick Williams coming up to this season? Andre Drummond, will he see some significant minutes this season? Dalen Terry, what are we going to do with Dalen Terry? Is Dalen Terry finally going to enter the – I don't think he was really a part of the team last season. He was a bona fide cheerleader last season. So will he be part of the team as a ball player? Will you keep him on the bench with the special dances and stuff with Javonte Green? Shout out to Javonte Green. Where's he at? I haven't seen him in a while.
Hey, he chilling. It's over with. He chilling. It's over with, man. Shout out to Ooh.
And one more. Will Billy Donovan adapt that coaching style? I think that everybody needs to look at themselves in the mirror after last season's disappointing exit out of that play-in tournament. And I think that Billy Donovan is one of those people. I think he needs to change his coaching style just a little bit, at least. I think he needs to use his players more to the benefit of the team and not be so stubborn or have so much of ego like I'm gonna do it my way. I think he got to adjust his coaching style and adapt to the game. You know what I'm saying? From a day-to-day basis, he has to adapt his coaching style. So that's all I'm saying.
I agree with a lot of those questions. It's going to be real simple for me, man. First day first, you got to get the monkey off the back. You got to set the tone early when you come in. What's the goal? What's our goal? Everybody going to come in with the cliche ultimate goal. We want to win the finals. We want to win the championship. But the Bulls ain't a championship team right now. You know what I'm saying? So what will be a realistic goal? You got to keep it a buck with yourself. If you keep it a buck with yourself and you go ahead and you start chopping down those milestones, you know what you can ultimately get to say, hey, this season was a success. So that's ultimately what you got to come into. Then after that, I'm looking at you. Is there going to be competition at the point guard spot? I think it's a very important thing. You got a young guy that was already on the team who knows the ways of the team, who knows the players, who's been working extremely hard. Does he get an opportunity to prove himself? Or do you just give it to the guy that's been a career backup with a lot of upside in the Bulls' eyes, or at least some type of stability that he could potentially provide for the team? Does he just automatically earn that? I mean, is that opportunity just give it to him, or will he have to earn that spot? I think that's a big conversation that you need to have, and that's something that you really need to think about for sure.
No, bro.
Next is gonna be, how do you get the most out of your young players? Finally, Patrick Williams, Ayodo Sumu, Kobe White. Do you get the most out of your young players? Finally, you waited on them. You let these guys mature in age. You let these guys get a few off seasons. You know what I'm saying? Working out with coaching staff, working out with DeMar DeRozan, going into pro-ams and pro leagues and putting on shows and running and basketball runs. Are you finally gonna get the most out of your young players? And then I look at the dynamic between the core. The dynamic between the core. What is it gonna look like? Y'all gonna be bickering and going back and forth on the court again? Or is y'all gonna put this thing on wax and let's go crazy? I'm not saying fights never happen in the NBA, because they do, even when you're on the same team, when there's misunderstanding. But do you have more success this season than not? So you got to
Mm.
just look at some of those things, at least for right now. Those are some of the early questions for me, for real.
Now, I do think the big three we gonna get what we normally get. Although I think Zach Levine would give his best season. I think I said that somewhere. This will
Yeah.
be his best season so far. When it comes to the shorties, I like what you said, but I think that's dependent upon Billy Donovan. Will he show patience? That's the key word for Billy Donovan. Like, I'ma just like it to this from last season. Ayo Sumu started off the season pretty solid to me. We watched every game. Uh, we called every game. We laugh called them in the first like couple weeks. Ayo Sumu was confident, shooting threes, hitting threes, controlling the offense. He looked it really good. And then when Goran Dragic came back, it seems like he had less patience for Ayo Sumu after he had a bad game. It feel like Ayo had one bad game and his minutes went down dramatically. And those minutes went to Dragic. And Dragic didn't end the season with the team. So what was the point? That was the point of that. We got to have more patience with these young guys, especially this season.
I ain't mad at that evaluation, but at the same time, I think at some point these guys will have to overcome bad coaching at some point. I think that if you want to be a good to great player, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, there's levels to this. Some players, more than not, they need that additional coaching. But sometimes, man, these guys been hooping their whole life. At some point, you got to overcome that, and you got to be able to dig deep within yourself to have a solid and use your IQ to be able to perform. That's been questioned lately, these last two seasons, with the guys, including some guys that's well paid. But you still got to be able to let these guys run a little bit. That'll be the only pushback. But I definitely understand where you're coming from.
It's hard to overcome a coach, nephew, because they got absolute power. They really a dictator of their country or the bench. You know what I'm saying? They can
Yeah.
take you out. They got free reign. So you could be having a bad night and that can affect you for a whole season. You know what I'm saying? You could have a bad day, something eternally be happening with your family or at home that can affect your game, and that can affect you for the whole season with the coach because he's not let me see this. Do you think Billy Donovan has the pulse of the locker room? Does he relate to those guys? Do you think he relate with those kids on like a Io Sumu? I think he relates with a Alice Caruso, with a with the older guys is good. But with the younger guys, Dalen Terry, Kobe White, Patrick Williams, do you think he relates with those kids?
I mean, I would probably not. I would say more so than not, but I ain't expecting my coach to be their friend.
I didn't say
All of us got a job. No, I'm not taking it as that.
yeah,
That
yeah.
you saying, but the point is that I'm trying to make. I don't see my coach like. Obviously, you want to have a good culture, but I think that one of the greatest leaders, which is to answer your question, they gotta have a pulse of the team. But I don't think he does. But I don't think, on the flip side of that, when you talk about can he relate, I don't think that really matters. You know what I'm saying? I don't
You
think that really matters. You got to be able to tend to all your players in different you got to have a difference in approach and leadership style. But when it comes to, anything that's outside of, obviously you want to be a leader that's in tune with your team. But a lot of the times it really don't matter.
yeah, yeah, you may be right, but I do. I'm agree with you. I don't think he got the pulse of other, especially the young guys. I think he in tune with the older guys, Zach Levine, DeMar DeRozan. He speaks their language, but with the other kids, they's different breed. That's a different generation. I don't know if he can connect with those guys. I don't think he has the patience to deal with these kids. Everything's moved so fast for these kids, and I don't think he has the patience for it.
I think
So
I do believe that's a solid point because we seen it. It was evident. My man's Patrick Williams was benched for Alex Caruso. I'm not saying it's a bad benching, but the point is Alex Caruso doesn't have the height or the size of a Patrick Williams.
yeah. What about Patrick Williams scoring like 20 points in like the first half, and then like you just take him out? He played like 10
To me,
minutes in
that's
the
to
in
me
the
that's
second half.
just look. To me, that's just not being smart at all. That's it.
What is that?
That's definitely some questionable things.
Yeah,
He definitely has some things that is a lot of questionable about, man. And
yeah,
that I do believe he does play a huge part in the development of the young guys. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
Because they have to receive opportunity. If you want to get the best out of Dalen Terry, for an example, you don't play him the least amount of minutes out of all the rookies in the NBA.
it's crazy. You hurting the
How do you
kid.
expect him to develop? You can go ahead and throw him in the G League all you want. You can go ahead and just run him in practice against his own teammates all you want. But everybody knows that experience is going to come through actual game time,
Yes,
where the speed is different, the intensity is different, the physicality is different. Ain't nobody really laughing and kikiing and ha. These guys trying to take your lunch money.
yeah,
That's the difference. That's growing.
yeah. Yeah, and you can't tell me that Dalen Terry couldn't come in and play defense for 5, 10
Especially in
minutes.
some of the garbage times.
Yeah,
For
come on.
real.
It's
Like
it's crazy that he couldn't get
they was
minutes.
all
It's just
there.
ridiculous.
It
It's
was
just ridiculous.
opportunities for him to
So
come out
it,
and at
it
least give
really
a
ain't
few
no
minutes.
hope for Julian Phillips. There ain't no hope.
Oh yeah, I've been saying he ain't getting no minutes.
And
I've
that's
been
a
saying
shame.
that.
That's a shame. That's a
Not right
shame
now.
because I think he got a lot of measurables just out front. He long,
I would.
6'9", athletic as hell. You should be able to find some minutes for that to see what you can get, what he can do.
I mean, I would say this though. Who does Julian Phillips look like if you blink a couple times and your TV ain't turned to the HD channel? He looked
El
like
DeBarge.
DJJ. He looked like DJJ with an afro. DJJ just took his braids out.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know
he
what I'm
do.
saying?
He
They
do for
both
sure.
tall, lanky guys, and we know he might have an opportunity simply because Billy Donovan played DJJ in situations. I was like, why is he out there? So we could
Bro.
definitely have a situation like, why is he out there
Guard
playing the
Nurk
center?
guard Nurkic.
Playing
Getting
the center.
bodied by guard Nurkic. Julian Phillips, he's skinnier than Derrick Jones Jr. So that ain't gonna work, Billy. Don't put
Yeah,
that man, don't do that to that young kid, bro.
for real.
Don't
I
do it.
mean, honestly, I could see him getting minutes at the 4. I could see that.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
if if
Why
somehow you
not?
start feeling like, hey, Torrey Craig, ain't in early in the game, or knock on wood, don't want to wish on injury on anybody, but if he got to replace somebody,
Yeah.
I think he could find some time in there because injuries are a part of the game, so you got to expect it. You want the team to be as healthy as possible, but we can't, ignore what the sports is really about and what they include. So
Yeah. Yeah, Billy got a lot of tools on his plate. It depends on how he use them. It's gonna be an interesting season, and it's coming up fast. Monday is media day. Make sure you
Tuesday is training camp, so we
tune in
should be
state training
it's
camp. It's
busting.
we need it. Chicago, we need it, gang. We need it. We need it bad.
We need it
We
right
got
there.
the basement bowl coming up. We got the basement bowl this weekend, so we need it,
Man,
bro, in the worst way.
we definitely need it. But let us know some of the questions that you might have for the Chicago Bulls team. Please watch the video before you start commenting because sometimes people really don't make sense. That's we just gonna leave it right there. But hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. If you want to call in and give a take, go ahead and call in 773-242-9219. It's another episode of Shy Bulls Podcast. I'm Bobby. That's CDubb. We're gonna catch y'all on the next one for sure.
Cognac. Gang.